You better fight me.
I'm not gonna fight you. I don't fight. I'm not gonna fight you. I am a professional boxer.
Are you?
That's what it is. You didn't know that?
I mean, I saw it like I was looking at some of the social media stuff and I seen it. So I was like, I didn't know you look all
Yeah.
professional and stuff. Oh shoot.
I knock
All right,
people
little Mike
out. I
Tyson.
knock them out.
As
No,
long as you help
I
him
ain't
get
no
back
Mike
up.
Tyson. I ain't no Mike Tyson. Now we fought on the same card twice, and as a boxer, I'm a little offended by the Mike Tyson. No, 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 no. Now if you said Muhammad Ali, okay, or Ray
I
Robinson, okay, those are my
yeah,
favorites. Ray
I got
Robinson,
you.
Muhammad Ali, Jack Johnson, take it way
Yeah, I
back.
heard of him too. Yeah. You like early 1900s. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but let's get down to business. Business.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rick Young.
Face with the voice. Yes, I'm
Yes,
Courtney.
my name is Rick Young. I'm the host of What's in Your Hand. What's in Your Hand is a
Mm-hmm.
motivational show where I interview guests and we talk about success, achievement, reaching your goals, and reaching your dreams. And I am in my motivational studio, as you can see.
I know I'm checking out the
I
books.
was telling my engineer, huh?
I'm checking out those books.
Well, some books and some audios, a lot of audios and books.
Okay.
But that's just only like 10% of it. It's only 10%. Yeah. It's only like 10% of it. So it's a lot of it. So
Yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to share with you. I know you're gonna share with us,
Oh yeah.
but all of this stuff here, if
Mm-hmm.
you ready to go, if you ready to fly, we could take one piece here and we gone. We going like a rocket.
Promise.
So Courtney, you're the author of a book, Unapologetically Favorite, excuse
Yes.
me. A woman, a
Mm-hmm.
leader, a testimony.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we did an interview. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was last November. We did an interview, the
Yeah,
first
it was.
interview.
It's been almost a year. Yeah, it has. It's been a year since I dropped the book. So yeah, this went by fast.
Wow. Now, how
Yeah.
did you hook up with that public relations company? Because they introduced me to you.
So she was actually Julia, who was my publicist. She was actually helping like one of my good friends, Leon Walker, because I listened to y'all's interview. You interviewed him as well too. He did a book called
Ah,
Broken. So me and Leon, we both worked together at one point in the Navy, and he was the one that has been my mentor, keeping his like foot on my neck to get through this book. And if it wasn't for him, I would not have written this book. Because he we still
Leon
take communication.
Walker.
Leon Walker. Mm-hmm.
I remember him. I remember
Yes.
him.
So I listened
Okay.
to y'all interview when you had him on your show. That's how I got to know who you were. And then it just happened that my publicist had me on the same show. And I was like, oh, I like this. So I got my publicist through Leon because he had her at one point. And her and I still to this day, we still talk, still connect. She uses me for, information, little wisdom, runs like advice or whatever. I help her out. And yeah, we just doing this, the networking, the bonding, the friendships, the relationships. Oh man, it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Well, Julia can call me anytime. She can call me anytime. She can call me anytime. That's just a fact. We've been doing business a long time. She's been
Mm-hmm.
sending me some great guests over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And as a radio host, you have to have a relationship with public relations people
Yes.
and companies.
Yes.
And so, I mean,
Grant
I didn't.
houses
Yeah.
community radio, the soul of the Upper West Side.
That's the lovely and talented Miss Tina Dixon doing our station ID.
Love it.
And yes, so Courtney, one of the things that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you because one, I never have been into the military,
Mm-hmm.
but what I'm seeing in life right now, what's going on with this pandemic, I think that one of the things this is my personal opinion, and people don't have to agree with it, but I feel that if we had order in our life, we would be more successful and we would deal with this pandemic thing a lot more easier if we had
Mm-hmm.
order and discipline in our life. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's one of the things that you get from the military. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, Doug, I am a firm believer in that because people, we don't realize how much until we realize we're at a point we don't have it. When we, like you and I talked about, the chaos in the world, and then this morning, when we talked on the phone, you made me think of, I went back and thought about how you were speaking about John Lewis's funeral and the military members who were, carrying this casket, and they were all in step. When everything is in
Mm-hmm.
step and everything is in order, everything is peaceful, everything is calm,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is kind because the stress is down. Now, picture that's the same military members carrying this casket, and all of them are out of step. They're stepping on the back of people's heels. People are getting angry, turning around. Man, what are you doing? Get off my feet. The casket is all over the place. And you don't know what's gonna. Somebody might drop it. Somebody might slip. Somebody might fall, and it's just chaos. It's not neat. You know what I mean? And you can take a little bit of that from the military. If everybody kind of goes in sync, if everything's working, harmoniously, the world would be a better place. But that's in, a perfect world. And unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. But there are some things, you can't take from that. And you made me think about that this morning, how beautiful it is when everybody's in sync and everybody's in harmony. People aren't pushing away from each other. People aren't fighting with each other. Everybody's getting along. And that peace that just comes with that. Oh man, there's not a price tag on that at all.
And a friend of mine, Herbert Harris, pulled my coach. I was, some things you're aware of and some things you're not. And that's one of the keys to success is being aware. But he made me aware that there was a branch from each division of the military. It wasn't all one branch.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was very, very interesting too. Can you explain how does that work? Why was there one from each branch?
Because they all have ceremonial guard. And then just by you speaking about that, it makes me think about, how each branch is different, but we're all the same because we all have our structure. We all have our discipline. We all have our trials and errors. But when we come together and work together, it's a beautiful picture. The same way I think about the people in the world. We all come from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different colors, different religions, cultures, whatever it is in your life that separates you from somebody. But when you're working together, it's a beautiful thing. The beauty in it is just, it's ridiculous, but we gotta get there. We have to get there, find somebody that's gonna, bring us there. But a lot of times for me, I get mad when somebody's always waiting on somebody to get them there. You know what? How about it start with you? Just do something simple, like go through the drive-through when you hit up McDonald's for your kids and pay for the person behind you. Or when you go into the 7-Eleven or the gas station, because we have 7-Elevens. I don't know if y'all Wawas, I don't know what, but the gas station, you want to pay for your gas, somebody standing behind you with a soda and a bag of cookies, pay for their stuff and watch how their life lights up that moment. I've done it so many times just because, it starts with us. We got to start it instead of waiting on people to give it to us.
Well, one of the person that I feel like I'm on a journey. I'm on my own journey. You're on your journey. I feel like I'm on my journey, but my journey has been telling me, or the universe has been speaking to me, you need to reconnect with that young lady, Courtney. Hey, pronounce your last name, KITTRELL?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
KITTRELL.
Yep.
I need to reconnect with her. And I interviewed somebody, show you how unorganized I am. I'm interviewing the person thinking that it's you, and it wasn't. And I literally told them, "Oh wow, I thought you were someone else." And my engineer, Doug, was telling me he remembered the conversation. He said, "Yeah, it wasn't." The way I explained it to her, she wasn't offended. She understood that that's just what it was. And I said, "Yo, you're doing a great job. Everything works out the way it's supposed to work out."
Yeah.
Right. But in your case now, I knew that I could find the information, but being so all over the place, helter skelter, wasn't able to find the information right away. I could just go right to it. And I'm in my apartment. I'm listening to the audio on order, being in order. And I walk and I turn around and bam, there's the book. There's your book. I said, and when I saw the book, I knew automatically that was the book, that it was you. I knew it.
Love it.
And before I even picked it up, I was like, not far from it, but I was like, okay, yeah, okay, I got it now, and I knew it,
That
and I
whisper,
knew it, huh?
that whisper,
No,
that whisper.
I just knew that it was the book. You
Yeah.
know, I just knew that it was the book. It was on my shelf. It was on the not the lowest, but it was on the next level up, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I turned around and looked, and there it was. Bam, there's the book. You know, so I knew. You know, listen, I believe that we're being guided. That's what I believe. I believe that we're all
Yeah.
on a journey,
Yep.
and we have a
Yep.
divine assignment. We have an assignment, and I knew
Mm-hmm.
that was a part of my assignment. When I saw that, I was like, okay. And I called your number, and you got right back to me like with I think like 10 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then we started talking, and then there it is.
I'm telling you,
And then I
I
found out
believe
you're
in
a
timing.
Pisces.
I believe in timing.
I found out you're a Pisces,
Yeah.
and
I
I'm a
am.
Cancer. I was born in July, and I sent you
Okay.
the text, swim with the fishes, and because
Yep.
Pisces, you know, swim. So it's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. They're supposed to be three. Like, oh, okay,
Well, they roll together.
that's what
They're
that's
like
what that's what
friends.
that's what they say. I don't know how true it is, but that's what
Oh,
they
okay.
say.
I
So
don't know.
let me ask you, how can the principles from the military help someone if they are interested in the success game, like myself and others? How could the military or the order? Because that's what I've been thinking. Am I correct on that, or
Mm-hmm.
how does that work?
No, because we find out we operate. So people that's been in the military for a while, we don't realize how much of a structure and discipline our life is. And we march to a certain battle rhythm, a certain drum beat. Like we have our set ways because we're used to being a certain way. We're used to wearing our clothes our uniforms a certain way. So we wear our clothes a certain way. It kind of crosses over into like our civilian side a little bit. You know, we get up in the morning, we make our beds. We're making sure the sheets are fitted, you know, because you end up taking what you have in the military and you end up applying it to your life because that's how you've been reborn. You know what I mean? Like going to boot camp, you're always reborn into the military because they got to teach you how to eat, how to speak military lingo, how to, you know, write military language, how to get dressed again, you know, how to read, you know, the documents that's for that particular branch. And I can speak for the Navy because I used to be a drill sergeant, you know, a recruit division commander at boot camp for the Navy. I was there for 4 years, and I always told the recruits when they come in for their first night of boot camp that you're about to be reborn. We're about to give you discipline and structure that you probably never had. And you will have a lot of kickback from some because they didn't grow, they were wild and free. Parents didn't have a leash on them. They were doing what they wanted to do. They didn't have a curfew. Most of them come in, don't have a driver's license. This is their first job ever. And it's all brand new. And then we're making them get up at a certain time every morning. We're making them, you know, break down their sheets and put on new sheets at a certain time every week. They go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner at a certain time. They hygiene or shower at a certain time. They're supposed to look a certain way. So when you start taking that mindset and you're applying it at home and you're putting order and discipline in the home, in your home front for yourself, when you start to become structured, it's going to show to everybody else that's around you. And they're going to look at you like, oh man, you seem like you got it together. Like, you know, you take pride in your appearance. Like I come to your home and your home is always clean and spotless. Like you have a routine. And then it's going to start bleeding over into their life. Then they're going to start picking up on what you're doing. It's kind of like a pyramid scheme. Once you start doing it and the people that are surrounding you see that you're doing it, they're going to eventually kind of latch onto that and take something away from you. And they're going to start doing it for themselves and in their family. And then somebody else around them is going to see it, and they're going to take it on to them and their family, or the kids are going to spread it to the other kids and the neighbors and, you know, the classmates. But it all starts, you know, with you individually in your home, just kind of gaining some of that discipline structure, waking up at a certain time every day, making sure your bed is good to go, taking pride in the clothes that you put on every morning, because you never know who you're going to run into out in the daytime. So when you start doing the little things that we teach in the military, oh man, you're going to look like a million bucks walking down the street. You're going to look like you have it together. Now, on the inside, you might be falling apart, life being shambles, but on the outside, you're going to look like $1 million. And then we can get to the personal stuff later.
Mm. So what about if someone comes into the military and they just straight up lazy. How do you deal with that? Because they,
So
if
I
they
like to
haven't
tell,
been trained.
oh yeah, when it happens. And luckily for me, I've been I've been teaching or facilitating a leadership course since like August. And some of the things that we talk about, like, are there 5 different generations that are in the military right now? And the new generation, I guess, Generation Z, millennials, whatever you want to call them, one of the stereotypes is that the young people are lazy. And I said, young people are not lazy. I said, one, you got to realize that we do not push people or use people for their max potential. We automatically judge, we automatically look at somebody and say, well, you're not a certain age, you're not a certain race, you're not a certain height, you're not a certain weight, you can't do X, Y, or Z. But you don't know that because you never gave them a chance. So when you're growing up in an environment like that, they might feel like they're underutilized. So what's going to happen? They're going to fall back and sit there because you're not using them. Figure out what's their motivation, what intrinsically or extrinsically motivates them. What's that carrot that you got to dangle in front of their face to get them to do something? And then use them for their max potential. But the kids that are coming in now, they're not lazy. Everything is just so easily accessible. These kids don't know what an Encyclopedia Britannica is. Wasn't nobody walking around the neighborhood selling Eureka vacuum cleaners to the parents in the evenings. They don't know anything about that. They don't know what it feels like to have to really like research in a library catalog a book that you want to check out. They wouldn't know how to do that. Everything is on Google. Everything is electronic. Everything is Amazon Prime. Everything is easily accessible. So when they're coming into the military, they're so used to getting things right now, instant gratification, that they'll ask for stuff, or they'll say, hey, I did X, Y, and Z. Did you get it yet? And people get mad. They're like, well, shit, mate, like what do you sit down and wait for a second? They're not impatient. They're just used to getting everything so quickly. I mean, it's been plenty of times I've ordered stuff off of Amazon and I'm like, okay, it's supposed to be here like tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, I'm at my front door waiting, trying to see what's going to show up. And if it doesn't show up, now I'm mad. Because we're so used to having that so quickly. And that's where the young people are these days. They're used to getting instant gratification. They know they don't have to really work for everything because they can post. You got kids making $1 million off of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like overnight. And they're thinking it's supposed to just happen that way. They don't realize to sustain success in life, you got to work for it, baby. You hit it. That overnight money is quick. And as quick as you made it, that's as fast as it's going to go away because you're not sustaining it. So it's not that, I don't think that they're lazy. I think that the environment that we are providing for them right now is making them really, really comfortable because they know they can just one button push and get whatever it is that they need instead of making them work for it, like dragging around lawnmowers to go cut people's grass to earn $20. We just give them $20 now. They don't know how to earn money.
Mm-hmm. And what's the new book?
Oh, the new book is Wake Up, Turn Up, Bless Up. It is a inspirational, motivational book for women. I don't know if you can see it with the glare and all that kind of good stuff. But
Wake Up, Turn Up,
Bless Up.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yep.
So wake up, turn up,
and bless up.
And bless up. Now, tell me about that.
So on my social media posts, I do a lot. I'm all about motivation. I love motivation because you never know who you might be speaking to. You never know who might need to hear your words. So every day I try to do motivational posts on my IG and my Facebook page. And I had a girlfriend of mine one day tell me, I was visiting her, and she said, girl, I wake up every day, have my cup of coffee, and I just wait for your post. I love reading them. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet, and then after thinking about it for a little while, I said, why don't I just make it easy and just put everything that I've, posted on my social media posts, put it into a book. So it's a motivational book. I say beautiful inspiration for her, just to kind of keep the everyday woman going, motivating, fix your crown, baby. It's okay. I know life is rough, but you made it through 100% of your toughest days because you're still standing, you're still here. Keep going. And I put it all into a book, and it's in 3 different sections: life, happiness, and love. So just kind of things to kind of get you through when you might need like a little pick-me-up every now and then, or just to remind you that it's okay. You might fall, but a failure is only when you refuse to stand back up. So.
Well, from what I understand now, we have a new soon-to-be vice president, and she's a
Oh yeah,
woman, and she's
yeah.
African American. How do you feel about that?
It's overwhelming because and it's so sad that it has to take this long. And they
Mhm.
want to say America is a melting pot. America is just just a great country, but it's like, whew, baby, we not as good as we portray ourselves to be, because we don't embrace everything. But I'm so glad that glass ceiling has been shattered. It's been long overdue. It's been long overdue. And I'm praying that she gets through it. You're gonna have your haters. That's just gonna come. But if you entertain clowns, they keep performing. And nobody was born to be a part of the circus. So as long as she keeps her head on straight, support people, however she can, and we support her no matter what. I think it's going to be a good thing, but it is overdue. It is long overdue for as a vice president, as the president, it's long overdue. We should have been shattering ceilings a long time ago. And if we, love everybody, equally, and this country is made equally, then why are we just now getting to this point? I'm glad it's happening, but we should have been having different ethnicities. But yeah,
So I am an advocate of women's success. I think
yes,
that is important.
yes.
What is it that could help more women? What is it that women need to do? More women need to do to succeed in life. I know there's many different areas that they want to go into, but overall success.
My number one thing is always have confidence. It's something about when you have confidence and you can walk into a room, doesn't matter what race is in there, doesn't matter what gender is in there, does not matter the level of leadership that's in there. When you can walk into a room and own that room, all eyes fixate on you when you're speaking, you can demand attention just by your presence and you don't have to say anything. You already been successful. But the confidence, you got to have the confidence piece and know how to be confident without being cocky. So those are two different things. And you can be a little too cocky and people don't want to mess with you, don't want to, have a relationship with you, don't want to be in no kind of business matter with you because you're arrogant. So you got to find that even playing field and kind of stay at it. But that confidence piece, having confidence will kill everything else around it.
Well, okay, so how do you get men to respect you? Because a lot of men either they look down on women or they
Mm-hmm.
look at women in a different way. Like, oh, I want to be with this woman. How could they get them to respect them as a contemporary and then let that be what it is as opposed to other things?
For me, it still goes back to that even playing field. So I can say like being in the Navy 21 years, right?
Hmm.
I am an E9. I am the highest enlisted rank that you can go. And it's been kind of challenging trying to get here for me. And I have like a whole slew of different, not setbacks, but things that just make me different. But one being a woman in a man's world in the military, it has always kind of been like that. But I'm one of those people that you are not gonna you're not gonna fold me, and you have to know how to present yourself, present a solution to a problem. And if your solution gets turned down, not automatically thinking that one is because you're a woman, or get defensive, or say because it's the color of your skin, because a lot of females will try to play on that and it drives me crazy. Sometimes your idea might not be good. Sometimes, there might be a better idea out there. Sometimes it isn't because you're a woman, it's just how the cards may play out. But because we are so used to, or we're built to think that everything that happens to us is because, of our gender, then it is what it is. But I could say you got to stand your ground. Just stand your ground with confidence and couth. Don't come in there belligerent. Just it's proof is in the pudding, I guess. Once you show them
Hmm.
that you have what it takes, once you show them that you can withstand whatever they're going through, when you can meet them shoulder to shoulder, eye to eye, come at them the same way they're coming at you, they're kind of like, oh, okay. oh, I like her because she get down with the rest of us. All right, she just as crazy as we are. Nothing we can say, is going to break her. When they see that, it's a whole different ball game. Because I can tell you, my last command that I was at, I was the only female chief, the only female E8 at the time in that command. The only female out of 20 some guys. It was just me. And I really had I had a male that told me that he didn't even know what to expect when I showed up, because he was automatically assuming that because I was a female, that I was going to be trouble. I was going to be complaining. I didn't want to work. I was going to have all these babies. In his head, he had already conjured up this picture of, but when I got there and I was just like, who are you talking to? That is not me. And I started meeting them where they were at. I am still friends with that same guy. I'm like, we became like the best of friends when I was there. Even the guys still to this day, 2 nights ago, I went to go see 2 of them 2 nights ago. They text me for questions. They text me for advice, because that presence, that presentation, you gotta meet them where they're at and not bow down, not back down for anybody.
Do you have a person that's a motivator that you listen to and you learn from? Who's some of the people you like to listen to inspire you?
I don't know. I really don't. Like, I have a lot of military friends that they kind of do a lot of a lot of speaking. One of them, she's retired. She's a retired master chief as well, E9. But she was really like influential for African American women in the Navy. April Beldo. And she did a lot. She's broken so many barriers while she was in. And became like a real good mentor. And I had the pleasure of befriending her like a while ago, and her and I are still friends to this day. And it's just amazing to watch how many people's lives that she's touched, and how you thought she was like the Michael Jackson of the Navy. It's just crazy because people were always trying to just get to her, like, how can we meet her? I just want her to sign a piece of paper for me. I just, it's serious. And I've had the pleasure of, having like firsthand communication with her, because her and I are friends. And I've watched how she carried herself, because she was one of the women that had to worry about, the men and how they perceived her, and how she didn't get selected for certain positions because she was a woman. And, how even just listening to the guys that I work with have comments to say about her being a woman in a position that, a lot of the times when it comes to the men in the military, their ego gets in the way, because they feel like because they're the supreme officer or they're higher than everybody else, and you can't tell them anything. And then sometimes I want to tell people, like, that rank that you're wearing is temporary. One day you're gonna take that uniform off, and nobody's gonna care what rank or who you served or what you did while you were in the military. Now you're gonna be a part of general population. Take a number and get to the back of the line. But in true story. But I listened to her because I watched how she quietly fought these battles. I watched how she knew people were out here looking for her downfall, but she was still walk into a room and suck out the oxygen. So that has always been my inspiration, my drive, my motivation to say, you know what, she made it through almost 32 years in the Navy. If she can do it, I can do it.
What was it that led you to the military? And
so
why Navy?
Oh, why the Navy? Because I almost joined the Army. And I had so my grandfather was in the Army. He did 30, my grandfather retired. He did 30 years. He retired Fort Bragg.
Wow.
Way in the 80s, 90s, I think it was. And then my uncle, so I went through ROTC in high school, and my uncle retired from the Navy. And I remember.
What is ROTC?
What was it?
What is ROTC?
So it's oh my goodness, what does it stand for? JR, Junior Reserve Officer Training Course. So every, like, high schools down here, they have Junior Reserve Officer Training Course, and it's like a little, it's like different schools have different branches. My high school had an Air Force branch, so you did like military stuff. So you would wear a uniform like on a Thursday out of the week, and you had like your aerospace dynamic classes, and you did marching and drilling competitions. You did like the color guard, parading the colors at football games and basketball games and stuff like that. And so I got into the Air Force side of that during high school. So I kind of had that structure and discipline before I went to boot camp. and we had a senior chief, a black guy that came in, and I remember he was in his uniform, and he came and did a class presentation about his trips around the world, and he was telling a story about the Philippines, and I was like, on a map, I couldn't tell you where that was at the time. I was like, the Philippines, I don't even know where that's at, but that sounds interesting. And I remember during my senior year, all the branches were trying to recruit kids straight out of high school. They had tables set up in the cafeterias, like, come over here and join the Coast Guard, join the Army, join the Navy, join the Air Force. And I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. So Sergeant Poole, I'll never forget this guy for the rest of my life. And it's been like 20 plus years. But he almost had me. I mean, this guy called me religiously every day. Came by to meet my parents to get me to join the Army. And I was like 2 seconds from going. And then my uncle, who had retired from the Navy, was like, niece, hell no, you are not going to the Army. You are going to go to the Navy. And I was like, okay. So we went to go see a Navy recruiter who ended up marrying like one of my second, third, fourth cousins in the family or whatever. And it just was take off from there. So I never desired to join the Navy. My uncle was just like, this is what you're going to go do. And I was like, yes, sir. So that's how I got here. And in my first 4 years now, like, listen, it got real. Like I was a certified nursing assistant before I joined the Navy. So I worked in a hospital, I worked in oncology, pediatrics, respiratory unit. I was going to be a nurse. So when I came into the Navy, I had a little background in working. So working was never really an issue for me. Being disrespected, that was an issue for me. My very first command, they had in 1999, they just started accepting females into the command. Now here you have a command full of all males, 250 plus all guys. They're doing what they want to do, saying what they want to say, acting how they want to act. Now you start integrating females in there, and they're being told to clean up their act. They can't say what they want to say anymore. They can't be really disgusting anymore. It was like we came in there and we just flipped them upside down, and they were not happy. They didn't want us in there. And I'm a female and I'm black. It was rough in the very, very beginning. But that was my fuel to say, you know what y'all think I can't do is what I'm about to go do. And I had to fight a little bit harder to prove that I was, I could be accepted, I can do this. Because their mindset was that we're just here to whine and complain, have babies, we're going to get out, within a year or two, and that's going to be it. Nah, player, I got something for you. The more you think I can't, the more I'm going to show you I can.
And what's it like to be on the sea for a certain amount of time? What's the longest you've been on the sea, and what's it like to be on the sea for so long?
So I think, oh man, who was last time I went out to deployment? 2012. So 2012, I was on a USS Enterprise. I've done carriers. There's different types of ships in the Navy, and I've done all carriers. The last carrier I was on was the USS Enterprise. And I don't know if
tuned in to GHCR.NYC, Grant Houses Community Radio.
Like, I don't know if you remember when there was a yacht that was hijacked by some Somali pirates back in like 2000. Was it 2000?
Briefly remember that, right?
So our ship was out there, and it was, when I say PTSD is a real thing, I'm just letting you know, PTSD is a real thing. And we don't realize, we as military members, we don't realize how much we endure until time starts to slow down and we have time to think about everything that we've been through, and it really starts to hit you. So that deployment was one of the longest deployments I think I've ever done. Normally deployments are 6 months, but as time has changed, and then the Somali pirates were, snatching and hijacking boats and yachts, everything over. It was crazy because we were on patrol searching for pirates and the head of, all these gangs, sea gangs that are out there. But I was out there on the Enterprise when the two different couples that were from California, they were on their missionary trip, and they got hijacked by I think it was like 13 pirates, Somali pirates that were on that ship. And every morning, I remember I worked nights, so I would work from 7 p.m. at night to 7 a.m. in the morning. And so in the mornings, me and another friend of mine, we would go topside to the flight deck on top of the carrier, and we would watch the SEAL teams get suited up, go into their little pontoon boats and zip off out to the yachts to kind of negotiate with the Somali pirates to get the civilians off the ship. So things like that, like you can always be prepared for something to happen, but you're never truly ready. And that's with anything in life. You can be prepared, like you have in your mind, you know what steps you need to take, you know what phone numbers to call, you know the people you need to contact, but you're never actually ready for it to happen. So deployments are very unpredictable, because you don't know what's going to happen at a moment's notice. You don't know if, like the countries you were supposed to go visit, if you're going to be able to go visit, or if something crazy is going to happen and all of a sudden they don't want us Americans there. So they start protesting, and then we can't go to that country because fear of our own safety. You don't know if the ship the ship does break down sometimes. If it goes black in the water, which means all electricity stops and now you're just a floating target in the ocean. It happens.
Wow.
You don't know if somebody's going to jump off the side, or if somebody's going to die on the flight deck, because it has happened. You just don't know. And now deployments are getting shorter and longer at the same time, because they're trying to do them a little different. But now when our ships go out to sea, it's like you don't know when you're coming back. You don't know. And doing the leadership classes that I was speaking about earlier, I had an officer actually, talk about how the young people aren't equipped. They're not built for this. And I tell them they're not, because again, going back in the generations, when we talk about our generations, in the 70s, everybody was dealing with the Vietnam War. Everybody was dealing with wartime, like real war. When was the last time? Well, besides Afghanistan, it's kind of been going on since like 2003. We've been fighting in Afghanistan, Iraq, over there in that area. But for the most part, the young people coming into the military today, they're coming in because they want to go to school. They're coming in because they want to get a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th. They don't actually think that one day they could be on the front lines. One day they might have to go boots on ground. One day they might have to get deployed in like 30 days or less because a war is about to happen. We don't preach that to them. So you kind of lose the reality of the purpose of why you're coming into the military. People come into the military as a safe place, but it's still the military. We can still go to war if called upon. So we still gotta kind of beat that back into the young people's heads that are coming in today. It's still possible that it could happen, but deployments are they're interesting because you just don't know what's going to happen. And being able to visit different countries, that in itself is it's amazing. It is truly amazing. And I've been all over the world besides Japan and Australia, but I wouldn't trade it. I would not trade it.
Is there a fitness center on the boat, on the ship?
Oh, yes. They have gyms. You probably have 2 or 3 gyms on the ship. You got the post office. 2 or 3 gyms. Oh, yes. On a carrier?
Post office.
You're going to have to take a trip down to Virginia, and I'll take you on a ship. Oh, yeah. We mail from it's a floating city. You might have on a carrier, there might be 5,000 people out there. You will never see the entire ship. Because you only go to work, to your rack, work out. You might go to the chapel to go to church. You might go to the post office to mail some stuff off. You might have 2 or 3 stores that you can go shopping in. But yeah, you will never see the entire ship. The laundromat.
It's called a floating city.
Oh yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Now, how's the food? How's the food?
Depends on what day it is. Because sometimes, so you have like your enlisted, like your E6 and below mess decks. So they kind of get like 2 different lines. They got like a fast food line. They got like a salad bar. But I mean, I guess it's enough to sustain life. It could be okay. But if you get down to a point where, the delivery of new food to the ship is delayed. You might be scrounging, you might be scrapping, but for the most part, the food is good. Then you have the officers. The officers have what they call a wardroom, and they get like different meals in there. And then the chiefs, the E7 through E9, we have our own dining area, which is usually it's pretty good. It's pretty good. You go down and get whatever you want. But, we take care of ourselves. But the food is we always have a running joke in the Navy. If you ever talk to anybody else in the Navy, ask them what a steak and lobster meal means. If they end up getting steak and lobster for dinner, ask them what it means. That means we about to get extended on deployment. And they're trying to like soften the blow.
Okay. Well, I can just go get my fishing rod and go on the side of the boat and catch my own food.
Sometimes they do that on deployment. Sometimes they will have they might have a night or something. They might have like on the back of the ship, on the fantail, they'll have like a cigar moment for the guys. Guys can go out there, smoke a cigar, whatever they want to do. To have like just to relax, just to break away from the monotony of everything that's going on day to day. Sometimes they might let the guys come out there with a fishing rod, a fishing pole, and fish off the back of the ship. So yeah, it's different.
So tell me, is this correct? When it comes to the biggest, best ship that they got, the biggest, when it comes to the sea or the ocean, it's like an ant in the ocean. Is that?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Wow.
It is.
Whoa, that's deep.
Oh yeah,
that's
it
deep.
is. It is. We don't realize how massive the ocean is. And for a carrier, I'm telling you, it is. A carrier got nothing on that ocean. And that's why I tell people, when people say they can't swim, I said, if the ocean can hold up, I don't know how big a carrier is, a 6-ton carrier, that water can hold you up too.
Do you swim?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever swam in the ocean?
Oh yeah. They have swim calls, and I've jumped off in the Red Sea, and it's so salty that it keeps you floating by itself. But they have swim calls, and you can jump off the ship into the ocean. But they'll have the EOD, the explosive ordnance disposal guys, and the SEAL teams and everybody. They'll have them out there in the water just for our safety to make sure there are sharks and everything out there. But we have
sharks.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They will keep that. They will make sure there are no sharks and everything out there in the water. And yeah, I have done it. I have done it, and I've watched it being done.
Wow.
It's like it's experiences, life experiences.
Okay. So final question. How do you feel about this thing? You hear me mention this thing called a success game. How do you feel about this whole thing about when I say success game, I mean like learning the success principles, applying them in life, teaching them, sharing them, and exchanging the whole success world principles. Some of the stuff that you learn in the military fits beautifully into the success game. How do you feel about the overall success game? How do you feel about it?
I think success is wonderful, for one.
Mm-hmm.
But to be successful, you have to be open. You have to be open. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be, confident enough in who you are for constructive feedback. You have to be, confident enough to know that everybody's not trying to get you if they're trying to offer you a different approach or a different way. You have to be okay with knowing that success is not true, real, sustainable success. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to, be comfortable with knowing that you got to have some self-reflection on who you are as a person, your character, your perception, your attitude, because your character is going to carry you further than your money ever will. Because that's what people look at, how are you portraying yourself towards people? Who can you reach out to? You can't put yourself in a box, because you're never going to grow to be successful. You're always going to be in this little box. So as long as you're in that box, that success is only going to be for that amount of time. But if you continue to grow, if you continue to invest not only into yourself, but people behind you, it's gonna keep flowing. It's gonna keep flowing and flowing. Like right now, I have a brother of mine. No kidding. We talk offline about a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, the guy, he's getting ready to release a book, and he's from New York. I'm gonna talk to you offline about this one though. But he was, I pushed him to write a book, right? Because somebody did it to me, and I like to pay things forward. If it worked for me, I'm gonna turn around and help somebody else out, because I'm all about reaching back and pulling the next person up. Because the only way we're gonna, be better is if we all band together and work together. So he sent me a manuscript, like I think it was last summertime frame. And I said, Jamal, what are you doing? Like, bruh, release this book. Like, it was amazing. Oh my God, it was amazing. So he kind of put it on the back shelf, on the back burner. And out of the blue, he said, you know what? I want you to read something else. And he sent it to me, another manuscript. And I'll read, but to have me sit down and read 400 pages in like one day, it has to be some good stuff. I read this book in the manuscript in like maybe a day and a half. And I told him, I said, you know what? I said, this is it. I said, you need to go ahead and do what you got to do with this book. And I'm sharing with him everything that I've done. I'm not rich. I'm not in this trying to make money. I'm in this trying to spread a message for people. I'm in this trying to show people that although we might not be where we want to be in life, you probably are not where you started. You've made some progress. Keep going. The success is going to come when it's supposed to happen for you. But always turn around, even while you're going through things, reach back and help somebody else out, because you already have the tools and the know-how. You have the skills, you have the mindset, you have the framework. Pass off your knowledge and your abilities to somebody else and help them get to where you are. We're so stingy sometimes. We don't want nobody to have what we have. Why not? And it drives me. But how do you think you're going to be successful? It's the people around you that make you successful. It's not just you by yourself. You are not, nobody can do everything by themselves. You had a team somewhere, somehow, a group of people, some fans, some people that, liked you on your IG post that boosted you up to where you are. Don't forget about those people. So if you want to be successful, you want to be good in the success game, don't forget where you come from, and don't forget the people that have helped you to get where you are. Turn around and pass that same knowledge off to them. Make your kids more successful than you probably were. Or you are. But so I've been working with him, and I'm getting his stuff together. But it's success. It's so much in this world to get. It is so much in this world to conquer. But we got to figure out how to humble ourselves, go out here and just go for it. But we so stuck on, well, I want to be like, we don't know how to make our own path, because we always trying to be like the next person. You know what I mean? We see a trend, and all of a sudden everybody has to be on this one trend. And it's like, why are you so scared of carving out your own path? If this person falls off this cliff, you're going to be right there behind them, falling off too, because you don't know how to make your own path in life. It's so easy just to do what everybody else is doing so you can fit in. I ain't trying to fit in with everybody else. I'm trying to do what Courtney wants to do. And that's just to spread a message of just being happy and confident, self-love, self-awareness, being okay with not being okay. Sometimes you might have a bad day. It's okay. We all have. You're not the only one. But to be successful, you got to remember where you come from and help everybody else around you get to where you are, because you're never gonna make it. People are gonna turn their backs on you eventually.
Now I promise this is the last question.
Oh, I'm good.
a guy from the gym, from my health club, want to give me $100. I'm like, nope, you can't give me. I'm not taking it. So he says, okay, can you give it to someone? Can you bless somebody? That's different.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I took the $100. So now I'm trying to figure out, who do I give this $100 to? You have any ideas? Courtney A. KITTRELL, have any ideas of what I can do with this $100?
Well, I'd say you go grocery shopping one day and you see, I don't know, a family in there trying to just scrounge up some stuff, buy something. You ain't got to give them the whole $100, but you know what? Let me buy you groceries if it ain't too much.
Say that again?
I was like, if you
are gonna buy the groceries.
Yeah, I'm like, if it ain't too much, like, because I think about that sometimes when I go into a grocery store. I'm an empath. I'm empathetic. Like, I'm always wanting to take care of somebody or do something for somebody, and I'll think about that sometimes if I see somebody at a gas station or in a grocery store. I'm thinking like,
Pay it
I hope they got
forward.
enough money, or yeah,
But
that's
let me just say something, Courtney. I don't know about Virginia, but here in New York,
not
you
in
go in
here.
there and you go in there and you buy three things. You up to $50, $40. Right? Like you got 3, 4 things. Like I mean, you should buy like a whole $100. You could buy like a whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks for the food. Now you get like a little bag.
It's
That's
about
your money
$75.
gone. Like yeah, like what the heck is going on
Oh,
here?
just put
So
20 on it. Bless different people. Put 20 on it. And then you got $80 left. Then go another time somebody at the gas station or something, give them $20 here. He's $20 for your gas. That way, instead of just blessing one person, you can bless 5.
so do a bunch of pay it forwards.
Oh yeah, when I tell you I'm all about paying it forward, just because I'm one of those people that I think when you throw positivity and good vibe in the atmosphere, it's gonna rain back down you tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that. So I believe when I go to a store and I purchase somebody's coffee that's behind me, or purchase something that somebody has, hey, just ring up their stuff with mine, because it ain't that much. I ain't got that much. I'll just pay for it both. I feel like my blessing is gonna come back on me. So yeah, that's my mindset though. I don't know.
Wow, wonderful. Well, Courtney, I want to thank you again. The book, Unapologetic Favorite.
Yes.
A woman, a leader, a testimony. And also the new book, Wake Up, Turn Up, and Bless Up.
Yes.
I want to thank you for being here today. We're gonna do some more work together because I could talk to you all day. The time went by so fast. We've been talking for over an hour already.
It's been an hour? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so we're gonna be in contact.
Yes.
Continue blessings. Enjoy this wonderful day.
Oh yeah, you too, most definitely.
Yeah. And I will talk to you soon.
All righty. Have a good night.
And I was gonna say we got the first one in, but the first one on this track.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the other one before, but
yeah.
We got some more work to do.
Oh, I'm down. Supporting all the way.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna put you to work.
I'm here for
it. All right. Bye, Courtney.
Got you. All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right.